Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is John. I am Orphan Car Garage, and I'm located in the state of Massachusetts in the town of Abington, which is about 30 minutes or so south of the city of Boston. The car here in front of me certainly is new to us here at OCG, and I dare say we probably will never see one again. You're probably looking at it thinking, what the heck is it? That's the question I've been getting all week long. This car has absolutely done nothing but gain crowds around it. This is the first opportunity I've had to actually film it. We're looking at a Kelmark GT from Kelmark Engineering, based out of Michigan. Yes, this is a kit car, loosely based on the Ferrari Dino, as you can kind of see that in the front end styling. And also I read that they used some styling hints from a Corvette prototype from the late 1960s. And I think we can see a hint of that at the rear. To me, this looks like a Le Mans race car. Sounds like one too. We'll fire it up for you later. So Kelmark started in Michigan in 1969, and they became noteworthy for converting rear engine cars to V8s. So putting V8s in the back of rear engine cars. It started out life as 4 or 6 cylinders, mainly Corvairs. So Kelmark Corvairs are pretty famous and pretty collectible in today's collector car market. In the early 1970s, I think around 1973 or 1974, they designed their own car, the car here in front of us, the Kelmark GT. Fully fiberglass body and mounted on top of a Volkswagen chassis. Most of the Kelmark GTs that were built also had a Volkswagen rear-mounted air-cooled engine. This particular car may have started out that way, but somewhere along the line, the Volkswagen engine was replaced with a Porsche engine. It's a 1973 Porsche 914 motor 2.0 liter engine, and I'll be showing you that as well. So that's kind of a nice thing to find in this car. No longer the actual Volkswagen engine, which we assume the car probably had originally, but maybe not. You could have a lot of choices in engines when these cars were built. They were sort of custom built to the owner's specifications. This particular car is one of the finest examples of what are very few finest examples out there. Very few of these cars exist. I read that maybe less than 24 or so are still in existence. This particular car was built in 1977, and we have the certificate of origin from Kelmark from that year, and it was based off of a 1970 Volkswagen chassis, and that's how the car is registered, as a 1970 Volkswagen. So you have no problem getting paperwork or titling wherever you might live. This car is registered and titled as a 1970 Volkswagen. Now, what you'll notice right off the bat is the striking yellow color. This color is gorgeous. We're assuming this car was restored at some point, maybe in the 1990s, to a very, very high standard. We've got this really cool solar yellow with these deep purple stripes. This camera just does not do it justice. It's a striking combination. Not something most people would think of off the bat, but when you see it in play, it really works. Beautifully done. The paint on this car was very, very professionally done, to the point of where we've got a PPG emblem there painted into the quarter panel. It may have been that this car was used for PPG advertising. We just don't know that. And if so, obviously the car was done to a very high standard to advertise their paint. Very possible that that was the case, but we just don't know for sure. We've got some larger wheels in the back than we do in the front. I read that the windshields in the Kelmarks were borrowed from the Ford Pinto, but we don't have to tell everybody that if we don't want to. The headlights definitely have a Volkswagen Beetle flare to them. I'm going to assume that those are Volkswagen Beetle headlights. That's kind of where the styling of the Beetle ends, at least on the exterior. Really, really beautiful presentation here. A really nice nose with not even a scratch. Some really cool aftermarket fog lights there, which are wired to the dashboard with a switch. These cars are fully fiberglass. It's a full fiberglass body, notoriously cracked over time. I mean, just you would expect that from a car of this age. And this car has very, very little to speak of. What it does have for cracks are extremely minor. There's a couple of little things here in the quarter panel at the wheel lip. I'm being fussy here, but I want everybody to see. Full disclosure, there's one here where the license plate would be. You can see that. That's probably the worst one on the whole car, and that's not even that bad. License plate, again, covers that. A couple more over here on the right rear wheel lip, right about there. So that's about it for cracking. It's super, super minor. You've got an engine lid here. I'll show you that in a minute. And then you've got actually a little trunk. It's a little bit of a trunk they give you as well. What's great about these kits, unlike so many other kit cars from this era, is that it actually has working doors with locks and a roll down window. Makes the car far more functional. A little bit easier to drive and use. We've got crank windows here, and on this car they work fine. Fine. I will say while we're here that although these doors are made to lock, there's your door handle there, it has a Volkswagen flair to it. Although these doors were originally designed to lock, they are inoperative in this car, and that's why we've got some padding around here so nobody inadvertently locks the door, because the door will not unlock with the key, although there is a key cylinder there, so if you wanted to, you could have that repaired. The next owner, the current owner, found unnecessary to have repaired. So there is that. Nicely sorted interior. This is where a lot of kit cars go awry. The interiors of the cars kind of fall behind, and people pay too much attention to the exterior and kind of lag behind on interior details. This car is very, very nicely done. These racing style seats are actually fairly comfortable, but I will say while I'm here, if you're much taller than 5'9" or 5'10", you're not going to be comfortable in this car. I'm 6 feet tall and I'm scrunched. So if you're much taller than 5'10", say, you're probably not going to be a happy camper driving this car. So I just want full disclosure there as well. We've got a little rip here on the side of the seat, and I can absolutely see why this would happen, because you really need that bolster to slide in and out of the car. I know from experience. Really nice gauges, stainless steel bezel there surrounding the gauges. All the gauges work, including the fuel gauge, but the fuel gauge is inaccurate. So if you show a quarter of a tank of gas, you've actually got a full tank. Probably a sending unit issue, and I'll show you the gas tank here in a minute. It's actually extremely easy to, excuse me, I want to get in the car, which is a challenge. Okay. Extremely easy to access, and I'll show you guys that in a minute. Now, while I'm here, the really cool thing about this car, and I doubt you'll find another one with it, although I could be stood corrected on that, this car is equipped with air conditioning. The previous owner added vintage air to this car, and it is working. Unbelievable to find a car of this caliber, a kit car of this caliber, or this kit car, period, to have an air conditioner. This car is so equipped with air conditioning, so that's a huge plus. And we've got a 4-speed manual transmission here. I'll get out and show you the trunk compartment and the engine compartment, and we'll fire her up for you. Just a really cool car. You definitely can't be shy owning this car. So here we've got a little trunk area here, just behind the passenger compartment. Somewhat useful. It's got a wooden floor and a fiberglass surround. We've got our air conditioning unit here, what looks to be a fresh battery, and that's our fuel cell. So presumably our sending unit will be under that plate right there, and that's probably the reason the fuel gauge is reading inaccurately. So that's probably a fairly easy fix. Again, its most current owner decided it wasn't an issue. He tops it off after every use anyway. But we want full disclosure to tell everybody, get everybody to know exactly what they're getting. The issues that the car has are minor in comparison. And I'll go to the engine compartment, which is really cool. There you go. There's that circa 1973, I believe, Porsche 914 2-liter engine. The top of this engine has been completely rebuilt. Lots of money's been spent on this car. Just in the past 3 years, I've got receipts totaling over $15,000 in receipts on this car, just since like 2022. $15,000, including a lot of mechanical work and the rebuilding of that upper engine on the Porsche 2.0. Leave that down softly there. So as you can see, it's very nicely done, very high caliber work. A custom shop in Rhode Island did most of the work on this car. They've very familiar with these cars. That's your air intake there for your air-cooled engine. Very, very clean. This car absolutely is a ready-to-go show car. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there are two releases here. This is where I got, these are the two knobs that open those two doors. I probably wanted to point that out as I was doing that. So that's kind of nice. We've got those dual exhausts down below. That very Le Mans looking rear end to this car. Side marker lights. The brake lights. Brake lights, the owner tells me, are intermittent. Sometimes the brake lights don't work. Most of the time they do, but every now and then they don't work, and he has not had that diagnosed. So again, full disclosure on this car. I want to show everybody the good, the bad, and the ugly on every car we sell here at Orphan Car Garage. So we've got an intermittent issue with the brake lights as well. There's your gas filler. Just as nice on the passenger side as it is on the driver's side. Very, very drivable turnkey car. Again, one of the finest in the country, undoubtedly, of the few dozen or couple dozen that are actually left in existence from what I've read. We'll get it started up for you now. Wrap this video up. As I said, the car is registered as a 1970 Volkswagen, so there are no issues with getting this car registered or titled in your state. If you need transportation, we can handle that here as well. I'm 6 feet, so bear with me. Steering wheel's kind of cool, so I have a Grant style steering wheel. There's your fog lights and your headlights, your wipers, fan, air conditioning controls. Nice headliner, kind of a felt headliner. Presumably more air conditioning vents. I think that steering column is Volkswagen as well. Cool car. I could walk around it all day. I've never been one for kit cars, I'll be very honest with you, but this car has changed my mind. Nicely done, just fantastic execution. So there you have it, this 1977 Kelmark GT from Kelmark Engineering. Available here at Orphan Car Garage. Pricing extremely reasonable, $14,900. Just $14,900 for this super rare, perfectly executed kit car from 1977. People will think you spent 3 times as much, 4 times as much. This is a great investment, a lot of fun for the money. That's what we strive to do here at Orphan Car Garage. I think you guys know that already. Give me a call, 508-954-8090. My name is John. Check us out on the web. There's plenty of pictures of this car there, including the undercarriage, which is very, very clean. OrphanCarGarage.com. And of course, subscribe and like us here on YouTube. As always, I appreciate all the support. And until the next one, which will be very soon, we'll see you down the road.